All right.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Blunt Talks. We got AJ in the building today.
What's up?
What's up, brother? And we're going to talk about some marketing and social media.
Yeah,
So, how
let's
are
do
you
it.
today?
I'm blessed, man. Got my coffee, got my water. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Cheers.
Let's go. Coffee cheers.
Yeah, man. So, I wanted to talk to you today, dude, to get into this social media game and this marketing game, bro. So, tell me how it started for you and why.
So first of all, like I'm in sales, just so you know. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fully like I'm in sales, but I'm with a marketing company, like a
Yeah.
social media marketing company, specifically creator marketing. So like creators, influencers, people you see on Instagram who you think are famous, semi-famous, mega famous, and we collaborate with them to launch campaigns for different brands, launch dope ads. And the whole point of it is creators are more or less people like you and me, but who have gained a following over time and are just able to leverage their audience and kind of align it with different brands who are interested in the kind of the creator's following, their overall brand, and making sure that they're a fit with that person.
All right.
So like, you sell sporting goods or you sell yoga pants, you would reach out to a creator who wears yoga pants, does yoga, is into fitness, and they collaborate and they make ads, they make different campaigns, and they get campaigns off the ground. They reach new audiences.
That's amazing. So, and you're just part of the sales team for that. So you're not really doing any marketing yourself right now.
So like, like the sales part of it is almost like marketing, right? So
You still need to know your shit though, right?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. So like I had to put out content. I had to put out dope content. Like I do stuff like this, like the podcast game,
Absolutely.
Product reviews. So there's a lot of marketing that goes into it. But working with a creator marketing company, it's interesting, man, because it's young, it's popping. Like it's a very fun, it's a fun environment. Like when you talk to clients. And like they see you, like you're not in a suit and tie. Like
No.
this is how I look when I'm on
Yeah.
camera talking to different clients, and they get the vibe right away. And that's kind of what they want to implement for their brand. So
Kind of cool. Trying to
Yeah.
be hip.
yeah,
So you talk to more guys like Roth. Like Roth should be a part of this episode too, really. We need more mics. That's what we need. We need more equipment.
Roth is the perfect fit.
Yeah.
He just comes in, he just rips his shirt off.
So Roth, because Roth does extreme sports, or
Yes.
he's a Red Bull crashed ice. It's not called crashed ice anymore. It's called ice cross.
Ice cross.
Skateboarding, whatever. So these types of things so what would qualify Roth? Like, I guess he qualifies as an individual, but what kind of things does he need to be able to meet the criteria of a client for your type of company?
Right.
And not you specifically, but
yeah.
in general.
So a lot of the times, like brands will look at follower count, and they just get high off follower count. Oh, this person has 50,000 followers. This is who I want to work with. This person has 100,000 followers. This is who I want to work with. But like, the follower count that's not the indicator of success.
No, because that could be rigged, right? And
Of
bought.
course,
Yeah.
in most cases, it is rigged.
It is, yeah.
People will buy their followers. People will do like follow for follow.
Yeah, and
Like
the one thing I learned when I was in Atlanta, especially, because we would have to kind of like vet people in a sense, is I might have mentioned this before, but you wouldn't look at how many followers you have. You look at how many comments they have.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not even likes, just comments. Because if you got 50,000 followers and only like 50 comments or 5 comments, something ain't right.
You'll go on someone's page. They're like, 100,000 followers. You scroll through their content. 0 likes, not 0. They always have a few likes, but 0 comments,
Yeah.
0 engagement. So what you want to look at, because like even comments, even that's kind of a fluffy metric in itself, right? What you need to really know is the engagement score of these people.
Which is what, like shares and saves?
It's like so.
Or everything. all
Yeah,
this.
so comments, likes, shares divided by like the amount of followers that they have. So like say you have 10,000 followers, you average 100 likes per comment, your engagement score is what? 1%? 10%. I'm not the best at math.
Yeah,
But it's
so I get
either
what
one
you're
or-
saying, though,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. So, but even then, people could buy their likes and buy their comments. So what's really important is the content itself.
Right.
The content itself is what's the most important piece.
Yeah.
So
Because if it's poor content, but then there's a bunch of likes and comments, but you're like, wait, what is this shit? It's either like something a niche market that people like, and you got to do more research on, or it's all rigged, right?
yeah, exactly. Or people just like the person's just sexy. The person's just sexy, so
True.
they're just liking it. But like it's the
Which
content.
is
It's
a lot
which
of
is a
stuff
lot
out
of-
there, right? That's a lot of shit out there, bro. I was like,
Exactly.
talentless women out there, and I'm just like, bro. Like, what do? They just change an outfit by kicking the screen? What is this? What is this?
You know what I mean? Sometimes you're just sexy, so you gotta like it. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the content has to be good and it has to be on brand. So the whole thing that like we praise is influencers versus creators, right? And people are starting to catch on to this kind of language and this kind of verbiage.
Right. So,
So-
what's the difference, and what is considered? I guess there's not one is better than the other, but
I'll kind of break it down. So
Okay,
like an
please.
influencer is like kind of all the bad things that I just mentioned, like buying comments,
Right.
buying followers, buying likes, using their using they're not putting the brand or the content first, they're putting their image and their face first, right? Whereas a creator, they treat their content like their brand. It's like their personal brand. Like this is like they're passionate about this kind of stuff. So like they're not going to work with like, say you're a vegan, you're not going to be doing content for a steakhouse.
Right.
Like obviously,
Yeah.
right? Like they're turning down collaborations that aren't on brand.
and that's creators.
Those are creators.
But influencers will be a vegan and fucking
Influencer would do the post
Roost
for
Steak Chris or Roost Chris, steakhouse. Like, I enjoy a good red meat.
yeah. Like an influencer will do like a post for Coke today, and then do a post for Pepsi tomorrow, and then delete both of them by Thursday. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like a
'Cause Mountain
creator.
Dew called.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But yeah.
Creators are like proud of their content, and when you go on their Instagram page, it's like their portfolio.
Right.
Like they'll be like, this is the work that I'm doing right now. They're not deleting their collaborations. They're proud of their collaborations, and if they like the brand, they'll continue to work with them. Sometimes they become brand ambassadors for that brand and get a full-time gig. But with creators, it's content first, and they just treat their brand. They treat their content like their brand, and that's where more and more brands are starting to catch on to this, and they're starting to see the difference between influencers and creators.
The more
And-
value in a creator than
Yeah.
more longevity in the fan base, like
Yeah,
because those people are following for different reasons. Than influencers is more of a trend,
yeah,
whereas
yes.
creators is more of longevity, like a authentic, like
Authentic.
an identity, though, right? An
Yeah,
authentic identity.
an authentic collaboration. So now back to what you were talking about with follower counts and why it's not all that relevant. Like someone can have 100,000 followers, but their content is crap. But then you get to see someone who has 1,000 followers or 5,000 followers, and they're putting their heart and soul into every piece of content that they put out.
So what makes good content then? What?
Good content, like it has to match the brand. It has to match what the brand has in mind. So like when you see a commercial for like Toyota, right, or Toyota, it can cost like $350,000 just to shoot.
Yeah.
But a
Sometimes
creator like Roth, for example, he has a high quality camera. He knows the angles. He knows a good place to do a shoot. Give him $5,000. He's gonna go out there and he's gonna make that same piece of content for you, right? And like right there, you save so much money. It's authentic. People know who this creator is, so it resonates with the audience who's already engaged.
It's more
with that
so
kind
they
of
can get
content.
the same message across to a more direct audience
Yeah.
than a $350,000 or $500,000 commercial might.
Yes.
People, especially not even watching TV much these days,
Yeah, man. They're on their phones the entire time.
and streaming everything because there is no commercials. People don't really like advertisements, right?
Well, like we still see commercials. Like when we're watching YouTube, like
Yeah.
those
For
little
sure. Those 5-second ones, they get us good.
They
And
get
those
you good, man.
Yeah. And they're super targeted.
they're super targeted, and a lot of the times those little 5-minute ads are made by creators. Like
Yeah.
the company I work for, like at #Paid, we just did a campaign with Nerf, making those little 5-second little in between videos with the skip now option.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's a creator and someone that you recognize,
People don't skip as much.
people aren't skipping those ads. You know, people are just like, oh, I have an extra 5 seconds to see this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now
It's
back
only
to
15. Yeah.
back to Charlemagne.
So you guys prefer as a company to work with creators over influencers, or is that something you guys are transitioning
No,
because of the interactions you're seeing
we brands want to work with creators over
Right.
influencers.
over influencers?
And like to get on a platform like so essentially we have a network of creators who we vet to allow onto the platform. Like they register, we make sure their following is authentic, we make sure that they have like X amount of engagement per post. Like we're not just gonna let anyone kind of
No,
join.
so the vetting process is pretty serious.
Yeah, like exactly. There's a vetted process to make sure that we're having creators versus influencers.
And now, would you guys allow somebody on the platform that is like, say they have only 5,000 followers, but 500 people that engage with their posts versus someone that has 20,000, but there's maybe not as much engagement, or the
Right.
percentage, maybe there is still 500 comments, but for 20,000 people, 500 comments is not that much. 5,000,
Yeah, so like we wouldn't bring anyone under like 1.5 engagement, 1.5% engagement. Like we wouldn't want to dip anything like below that. And
That's kind of low, eh? I thought it would be a lot more
well,
than that.
like
but
Instagram, like so Instagram's kind of like the stand, like it's like the most poppin' social channel out there. TikTok is like slowly gonna become the number one. I wouldn't say it's fully there yet, but Instagram's kind of like the gold standard. So you can look at the metrics off of Instagram through like the API integration. So that gives you like access to all of the data that Instagram has about its members.
Mhm.
So with the algorithm now versus what it was like 5 years ago, it's like I have like 1,000 followers, but if I post a picture on Instagram, not all of my followers are gonna see that picture. Like the algorithm has it such that only X amount of people are really gonna see it.
That's
And
so weird, eh?
yeah, exactly. So like you have people like I have people on my Instagram, right, that I don't see on my timeline. Like their content doesn't pop up on my timeline.
Yeah,
But if I go to their profile, I see that they've been posting for like the past
Yeah.
couple of months.
Yeah, there's people I'm following and they're following me, and I'm like,
And you just don't see their content.
and I don't see their shit
You
ever.
don't see their content.
It's so weird.
That's just the nature of Instagram's algorithm.
So is it important to get an understanding of these algorithms if you're a creator, or I don't want to I don't want to influence influencers. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to encourage influencers. Sorry. So I'm gonna stick with that word creator because I don't like that influencers.
But to bring it back to what you were saying, isn't that 1.5 low? It's not really low because the algorithm itself is only showing that post to X amount of your followers in the first
Regardless.
place. Yeah. So getting engagement, that's not high or anything. You want to have higher engagement
For sure.
than that, but that's just like as low as we'll go.
Yeah, and that's how you know that there's that
Yeah.
1% at least is
Yeah.
engaging with that audience.
Like yeah, I'll post a pic.
So it doesn't matter if you have 5,000 or 100,000.
It depends on
It
what
does.
the objective of your campaign is. So
Right.
there's
What, like a good moral message? You mean it can sway opinion?
So like when you launch a campaign, like you're doing it for a specific reason. Like are you trying to draw awareness? So awareness meaning
Oh, that's how it kind of works.
yeah. So
Okay.
like are you doing it for awareness? So like you're not necessarily concerned with people buying the product. Like you just want to get your name out there. You're trying to spread awareness.
Right.
Acquisition, so like you're trying to get people to your website or sign up for something. And then conversion is like literally taking action. So making a purchase, or maybe the conversion is the sign up in that piece. You're trying to make them take direct action. Usually that has some kind of monetary value behind it. So when you talk about 500,000 versus 5,000, you can work with one person who has 500,000 followers, right? But they're going to be expensive. That content piece is going to cost a lot of money to get from them. So, okay, put all your eggs in one basket. They post that one piece organically. 10% of their following sees it. What's that, 50,000 or?
Yeah, 500,000, 10%.
Yeah, 50,000 people see it. Oh, that's great. That's great for awareness. We don't know if they're going to purchase. We don't know what's going to happen. And then you're going to need more and more content from that person, right? So it's not just going to be one post. You're going to need multiple pieces of content spread out over a certain amount of time. That's option A, all your eggs in one basket. You can work with 10 people who all have 5,000 followers. That content piece is going to be cheaper per person. So you can get more pieces of content that's posted out over the same amount of time, but there's more pieces of content that's going out.
Right.
It's a very wide audience. They all have decent engagement scores. So it's like the way you want to spend your money.
But really, so with this kind of professional, is like using creators to do the work for you in a sense, it's still going to cost you money in the long run.
Oh,
Like, because
yeah.
you make a commercial for 300,000, you can replay it. I mean, it costs money to get it played, obviously, but like you have that content for life. If it's a good commercial, you know what I mean? That creator is going to make that 5-second, 10-second video. And like you say, only 10% of the people are going to watch it. And if they don't watch it that day, it drops. It might not ever get seen again, right?
It's very possible. But what? So the
Or
organic.
is it more like they want to partner with these people so that they're constantly posting?
No, you're painting the perfect picture here. So when I've said organic like a few times. So
Yeah.
when I say organic, I mean, so say I'm the creator. Organically means I post that piece of content on my Instagram, and I press post, and only my following is gonna see it,
Right.
right? Until for X amount of time, like it's gonna be on my profile forever, but eventually people stop engaging with content. Organic is only going to reach my following, right? So if I only have 5,000 followers, only 10% of my people are really going to see it. Where brands are seeing the real bang for their buck is with like the paid amplification of that post. Yeah. So you take that content piece, the brand will have control of the creator's handle. So say you're the creator, you would give me access to your handle so I can post through your handle, but with paid amplification. It's called whitelisting. With whitelisting,
That's what those paid in partnership.
yeah, when you
in the
see
tags at the
sponsored
top,
or
right?
you see, yeah, I can choose the audiences that I want to target with that content piece and target them.
Whether it's all men, all women, people
Yeah.
30 to 40, or
But more specifically, outside of your following. So
Right.
so I'm not bound to like your organic following. I can choose whoever I want to target with this targeted piece of content. And it's coming. It's you. It's the creator that people are
familiar with, fans of.
Yeah,
Yep.
familiar with. They're fans of.
Yep.
And most importantly, it's a human person. So when you see a human versus the brand, like you're more likely to engage with the branded with the human.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like my mom will give me advice. She'll tell me to do something. I'll be like, yeah, that's the right thing I should do. But like, who knows if I'm not really just gonna do it. But then like I hear your mom say it, and I hear someone else's mom say it. I'm like, shit, everyone else is like, this is what everyone's saying. Like, it's like,
Right. Maybe I got to consider
maybe
this.
I should be I'm gonna take action. So it's kind of like the same thing with
Influencer
Twitter.
yeah.
That's a weird example, but
Yeah, it is. But
but like when you see a familiar face, you see another human doing it, you're just like way more likely, up to 25% more likely to be exact.
to be exact, it's a it's a science.
Yeah.
So it being a science, how important is it for creators and people coming up to be scientific about it, I guess, or like have
Yeah.
a plan, like
It's gotta
of
be
action, calculated,
it's
right?
gotta
How
be-
calculated does things have to be?
Yeah, with these type of campaigns, like it needs to be calculated.
And does that take away from authenticity, or is it,
Well,
or is it just being professional?
it's just being professional.
Yeah.
The content itself is gonna be authentic. So like remember, like the point of this is to like spread awareness for a brand, make money for a brand. You know, it's not like we're creating art the content is art, but like there's a performance metric that people are trying to achieve with these
Right.
kind of
And so
content.
this is not your example of like what we were talking about, Rock Marciano.
Right. So
Here's a musician that markets himself independently, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of has an authentic but obviously calculated approach.
exactly. So with music, like with musicians and artists, especially in hip hop, there's a lot that could be taken from this kind of like direct to consumer approach.
I think so too. That's why I wanted to talk to you
Yeah.
about it, is because like guys like me and creators that are trying to get their specific, art out there, like how, this social media game is the best way to get it out there.
Exactly.
There's stuff that I have that nobody knows about, and so how does someone like me like maybe model my shit after a Rock Marciano or
100%. Okay,
or-
so let me take a step back. So
Yeah.
the creators, they work best with they work for most industries. Like business to business isn't fully there yet. Like business to business working with creators isn't fully etched out. Like there's work to be done there, just because you can't ensure that the business that you're trying to market to follows some creator. So
Right.
direct to consumer brands, it works perfect with. So direct to consumer means, say I'm the brand, I sell soap. My soap isn't on the shelves of some store. It's just only on my website,
and direct to me.
and
You
it's
sell
direct
it.
to you.
Yeah.
If you want to buy it, you go on my website
And buy
you purchase it.
Yeah.
There's kind of an element of having it on Amazon as well, but like at the end of the day, you're a brand that sells directly to the consumer. So what do you gain from that? You know exactly who your consumers are. You know where they live. You know where they're buying from. You know how frequently they're buying. You know when they buy, are they posting about it? And a lot of the times these direct to consumer brands, like they're small, like they're getting there. Like we're seeing like the Dollar Shaves Clubs, like the Everly Wells.
Oh yeah, those
Yeah.
guys blew up.
Yeah,
right?
like they're slowly blowing up, and you're gonna see these direct-to-consumer brands start to be the new brands that we follow and become our legacy brands that are in malls and all that. But these direct-to-consumer brands, they know exactly who their consumers are. They engage with them when they share a comment. The brand goes and likes and comments under it, and the consumer's just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm fucking famous.
So that's a different type of engagement. That's the
Yeah.
wow, this brand knows who I am.
Yeah, and that's why direct-to-consumer brands love to work with creators, because they share that direct-to-consumer experience and commonality. Like creators post right to their audience, direct to consumers sell right to their audience, right? So I tweeted about this recently with Rock Marciano, right? Rock Marciano is like a direct to consumer hip hop guru, right? he's been independent pretty much since day one. Like
As far as I know, I don't know any. Yeah,
like pretty much.
mind you, he's an OG, so he's like 40 years old. So for all we know, 20 years ago he had a deal.
Yeah, I know.
You
I know he came up with like Busta Rhymes and all that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the conglomerate. But I don't know what that.
But anyway, yeah,
I don't know what that
As
deal
we-
was like.
what we're talking about is his current album. Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah.
So Rock Marciano, independent. He knows exactly who his audience is.
diehard hip hop fans.
Diehard hip hop fans.
Most of his fans are probably like artists, like producers and
Yeah,
shit like that.
yeah,
like,
right.
you know?
Producers, artists. He's like your rapper's favorite rapper.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's it.
And his audience, they're not children. You know,
No.
they're not children.
No,
they're
it's
not
pimp
necessarily.
talk.
They
People
didn't
can't even
come.
understand.
They didn't come up
On
streaming on Spotify. They didn't come up fucking. You know, these people came up trying to when an artist
Yeah.
when an artist drops their music, they either go out and buy the LP or they try and bootleg it directly so they have the album, right? Rock knows who his audience is. They're like our age, you know? They're like 26 to like 40 or whatever, mature audience. He knows that they love his music, right? And if you go to Rock's Twitter or Instagram, it's not like he has 10, like a million followers or 100,000 followers. He has a
No.
diehard cult following that will purchase his music no matter what. Whenever he drops an album, I buy the record that
Yeah.
second. As soon as he tweets that it's out, I'm buying it.
He gets $100 from you.
And he's getting $100 from me
Yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
no matter what. So when most artists have a drop, they say I'm dropping on December 12th. Stream my shit on all platforms. Okay, yeah, that's great. You get pennies for the stream. That's awesome. But Rock will say my album drops on December 12th. Pre-order the vinyl and purchase the streaming link that day. And he'll have that streaming link for purchase, not streaming link, zip file. He'll have that zip file for purchase for 2 weeks or maybe even 3 weeks, and then he'll put his music up for streaming. Right? So he knows he has a diehard following. He knows their purchase history. He knows that they are engaged with his comments because he has a small following, and he sees exactly, bro.
So he's playing basically both sides of the coin, like
Yeah.
beautifully. So
Yeah.
he's releasing physicals for his core fan base. But then he knows what the game is, the streams, the YouTubes, the
Yeah.
all that shit. You got to get it up there eventually so other people can find out about you.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's like, I'm gonna wait though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all the money from my fans,
Yeah,
and then once they're bought it, give it to the people.
Exactly. That's the direct to consumer
genius.
approach. Like he knows who his audience is and he knows how they consume his music.
Yeah, and his audience again are, like you said, 20 to 40-year-olds, guys, people who have jobs, people who appreciate art, I
Yeah.
think, and the culture, and then he's kind of like dialed in
Exactly.
on those people.
Bro, exactly. So 5,000 people, they all go on, they spend $100. There's his money right there. He's
Yeah.
good. And then he puts it on streaming to gain new fans.
Exactly.
Like he puts it on Spotify, Apple Music, just to gain new fans, and to please people who maybe couldn't afford or just didn't make the purchase in time. But it's an amazing approach, and when you have that kind of approach, you don't have to constantly be flooding the market, with product. You don't have to be putting out a release every other month.
Which what it feels like a lot of artists have to do to keep up, like to stay in the light.
stay
They just have
relevant.
to keep putting
They're-
music
yeah.
out, and then quality stuff.
Yeah, and exactly. Like it's like obviously we would love to get our favorite artist's music as frequently as possible. Like shout out to people like Spitta. But with Spitta, it's different. Like he knows exactly who his audience is as well. And his content is consistent, and he knows how his audience consumes his content.
And Spitta has bars and a lot of music out, but mind you, a lot of it is just about rolling up and driving low riders, right? But I mean, it's the shit, but
he knows his audience.
he knows his audience, and he knows that people are still going to fuck with him regardless.
Yeah.
It's always different, but it's about the similar topic, so he's able to just kick it out. But that's the authenticity that allows him to be able to do that.
He
right?
never switched.
Nah.
He never switched.
Nah.
Like what? When did Spitta start going crazy? 08? Like he's been around forever. But
it was as soon as he was out of Cash Money
yeah.
is when he was greasy.
Yeah,
I think. I didn't really know, follow Currency or whatever when he was on Hot Boys or whatever.
Yeah, no, I remember him. He was on Where the Cash At. And like a few other tracks. But on Dedication 3, Lil Wayne like kind of low key like disses Currency.
Really?
Yeah, on one of the skits, he's like, the do's and don'ts of Cash Money, Young Money. Don't get dropped from the motherfucking label and then have your fans like, what happened to you? When are you coming out? I'm coming out. He's talking about Spitta. Oh, are you coming out with Wayne? No, I got my own record label. Man, what the fuck? What? Like he's talking about Spitta there. And then all of a sudden Spitta goes crazy. He drops a mixtape every month for like 5 months. And they're all dope.
Maybe that sparked the fire, bro, to get Spitta going.
Yeah. So like there's two sides of the coin.
I love that approach to it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Spitta Rock Marciano. Because it's genius. It's just knowing who your audience is and taking advantage. I think Action Bronson does it similarly, but I don't know if he has a deal or not. But then there's guys like Drake, who's obviously a genius marketer.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that approach is more iconic, I guess.
Bro,
Can't even talk about
I don't
that.
know what kind of deal Drake. I don't know what kind of Drake he has, but it's not like he drops. Well, he drops every year, kind of consistently. Actually,
It's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
But does he have to?
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of deal he has, but he drops pretty consistently almost every year. And he does features out the wazoo. But like someone like Rock, like you won't see him feature with anyone. And if it is, it's like it's someone who's close to him that's done a feature for him in the past. He only works with like X amount of people. Same thing with Spitta too. Like these are very underground dudes who know their consumers in and out. Like I'm sure Drake knows his consumer, but my man has 1 billion consumers. Like you know, he has a
Next
billion
level.
consumers.
And then there's like Chance the Rapper, who is independent now, I think, or he was, or whatever happened with him. But he's more of like a guy that's in between Rock and Drake in a way. He lives in that.
Yeah, bro, exactly. He had a cult following. He was pretty much direct to consumer. As in, when I say direct to consumer, I have like this brand outlook on everything. So independent. I I don't know, man. His last album, I don't know what.
I don't know what happened either.
I
But
don't
what
know.
I'm the reason I'm asking the difference between these guys is because obviously they're all different styles and degrees of marketing, and
Yes.
then it's like the stages of it, like how. So a creator obviously is more gonna stick to like a Rock Marciano script coming out
Yeah.
the gate, right?
Yeah.
And
So when we talk about these Rock Marcianos and the Drakes, the and content over like quantity or likes and engagement, it's all about knowing your audience. And that's kind of the key with all of this. If you know your audience, you know what their purchase, you know how they consume your product.
and that's when you can get away from following trends. Because I feel
Yes.
like Drake is a guy that would follow a trend. Like when there's a trend, oh, okay, let's make a song for TikTok, and boom, now he's fucking, and
Yeah.
then boom, Tootsie Slide or whatever that song's called is famous.
Yeah, right? So,
Whereas Rock Marciano would never make a song for TikTok.
yeah, no, exactly. And Tusi Slide, like,
'Cause
whatever.
that could lose him his core fans.
When he
like
dropped Tusi Slide, he got slack for that. Like, people, I remember many different blog posts, a lot of different media outlets saying, you know, is Drake like simping for Instagram? Is he just like putting out this not Instagram, TikTok? Like is he making a TikTok trend? And people were like, well, yeah, pretty much. This is a dance for TikTok. When TikTok dances were popping because everyone was just locked in their houses during quarantine.
which I think people gave him a lot of hard time because like people are going through hard times and this motherfucker's dancing around his mansion. You know?
Yeah, yeah, right. So, but then again, like, did he do that because he knows his audiences are engaged with TikTok content? Maybe like he knows
And then
his audience.
I mean again, like here's this guy will follow a trend, billion streams, billion fans. Rock Marciano doesn't follow trends, 100,000 fans, but all 100,000 are purchasing his fucking
they're
album.
all guaranteed to spend $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all those streams that Drake has, not everybody's paying, but that Spotify check is.
Yeah, it's definitely handsome. It's definitely handsome. So that's kind of like mass marketing, whereas rock is like a very targeted approach. So that's like the beauty of this day and age. You know, you can live comfortably and have a nice life off of a small cult following who are engaged and love your brand, love you as a creator, love you as a company, love you as an artist. And we live in a day and age where, you know, online transactions can just allow you to live and make a solid living.
So how important then is like the quality of content for someone to try and go that route, that Rock Marciano route? We're gonna call it, just for the sake of the show, is like more of the cult following base. Like what
It has to be unique, man. It has to be unique. It has to have
so it doesn't matter about the quality. It has to have some sort of, because I heard one thing about the social media. There's content is is only valuable if it's educational or entertaining. Those are the only two things of value.
I'd like to see the data behind that. That sounds that could be argued, but I wouldn't argue too hard against that.
I mean, because when you think about it, though, most content falls into those categories,
exactly.
one or the other.
Has
Like
to either
if it's
teach you
stupid
or
and funny,
entertain.
it's entertaining, or if it's music, it's entertaining, whatever. And then
Yeah,
if it's
no, straight up.
educational, it's like somebody's putting together like a picture that says, "Here's 5 facts about whatever the
You're
fuck
right.
it is."
Yeah, no. Yep. I would have a hard time disagreeing with that.
Right.
Straight up. So when you bring that back to content, yeah, you either have to teach or entertain. And to entertain, like comedy. Like comedy is
Subjective.
like to laugh, you have to see something unexpected. You know, like you have to be caught off guard, and something unexpected needs to happen. That'll either scare you, so it'll be like horror, or make you laugh, like comedy, or make you cry, drama, satire, all that. So there has to be some kind of uniqueness there. There has to be something that's differentiating you from the batch, you know? So when you have a rock who's making like amazing music and some of the songs don't have drums, it's just like an eerie melodic groove, and the guy is able to bounce on the beat and spit rigorous bars.
But that's his unique skill.
Yeah,
right?
that's his
Is
unique
to
skill.
bring
So-
that.
so
I made this rap cool again.
Yeah,
Like, you
right.
know?
So like you're doing that in early 2010s when everyone's doing trap, you start to gain that cult following. Because like Mossberg, it was like 2009 or something like that. Reloaded, 2012. So having that kind of music in the early like
Right.
2010s. I remember when I
So
first
so
heard
just
Roth.
for me, the music is the product, and then the content is separate. If you like, because for social media now,
Mhm.
it's like it's cool to be a rapper, but now you can't just make an album. Like people need to find it. People need to see you. People need right.
Yeah, they
Like
need to
there
consume.
needs to be snippets of this content, and like so is this content supposed to be broken down to constantly entertain, or is it promotional, or is it both? And then
Art is different because like you said, art's kind of subjective, and art is like expression for the sake of beauty. It's not necessarily to make money. Like that's not the goal of it, but people want to make money of it.
Mhm.
So when you change the goal of art, you're gonna suffer somewhere. So like if you're expressing to make money, you're going to have to continuously put out content. Like put out content here, put out content there, reach new audiences. Like because to grow, you need to acquire new customers, right?
Yeah.
So if you're focused on your bottom line, you're gonna have to act in a certain way. So like and then like you said, you can tell which artists are focused on their bottom line and which ones are focused on developing their craft. So like you look at like a Terrell Morris or like a Raz Fresco, they're not just like dropping every single month, right? Like they know who their audience is, they know how their audience acts, they know how they consume media. They put together a tailored piece of art when it's time for them to drop a tailored piece of art. Not necessarily because there's a deadline approaching, they have to make money.
Of course.
Yeah, so a lot of it comes down to knowing your audience. Like knowing your audience, knowing how they consume and giving them what they need when they need it. Instead of just flooding the market.
So that's another question. So you can post too much. Like there's a level of not enough and too much, right? Like what's a good balance for somebody that nobody knows, nobody fucks with,
Mm.
right? Because if it's someone you don't know, but you're willing to support and follow, you don't want to see the same
Yeah,
same
yeah,
shit
yeah,
every
yeah.
day. Because there's people I can think of and things that I've seen that I'm just like, I've kind of had enough of this, but I fuck with you, so that's why I'm still here. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, as long as the content is great, because if you need to grow, you do need to get your name out there. Like,
so you guys don't have like in your industry, because you're in the industry of this,
mhm,
what it is,
mhm.
and it's still growing. Obviously, it's still brand new to a lot of people, but is 3 days, every 3 days, every 2 days? Like, is there a number?
Right, 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 right. So, like, some brands will come to us and be brand new, right? Like, when I say brand new, like, no real social media presence, no. They may have sales to speak of, but as far as their name being out there, it's just not out there. And they want to work with creators to get their name out there. So like to help promote their brand. But like it's difficult to help promote your brand if your brand isn't known, you know? So if you want to partner with someone else to help grow your brand, that can be done. It can 100% be done, but is it going to be completely authentic? Like is it going to be um an authentic piece of
It
like
can't be, because that person doesn't know your fucking brand,
they
right?
don't know the brand, right? But that's where you get into like just buying the content. So instead of the creator posting on their social, they would create that piece of content for the brand. So instead of using my name, you're just kind of using my like the way you're using my style. Like you're
Mm.
using my content piece for you to use on your website, for you to use on your on your social channels to 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 make you come off or seem as though you have customers and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
facts.
So I don't want to say it's like faking it as you make it, like to make it, but it's hard to get someone to promote a brand that isn't known.
Makes sense. So
Yeah.
what should people like me do to improve? People that I don't post very often at all, and trying to obviously grow.
Yeah.
So how do you what should I do? What should I do to improve or make better posts?
Well, you're doing it right now. Like
Yeah,
develop content.
more content.
Like this is like this like stuff like this. Like here we are here, Blue Room
Yeah,
Studios.
yeah.
Get the content out there. Like I'm trying to get like a more consistent. So it's not apples to apples with music to brand promotion, because
Right.
the goal isn't always the same. Like
Right.
music is an art form. This is more of a business. Where like this, there's a message we're trying to get across in this kind of platform. But like, for instance, I'm trying to get more followers on Twitter, but
Right.
but I don't tweet enough. You know, so if I don't get more followers and I'm not tweeting enough, like who am I to blame? I can only blame myself because I'm not tweeting enough. So the
And
more
then that word enough, like, so what is enough? Is Twitter different? Obviously, because is the Twitter more of an everyday? You got to post a little something, something,
kind of.
and then Instagram is more of like space it out
Okay, so
throughout the week.
so to answer your question directly, what's enough? I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe there is no answer.
Yeah.
So obviously, you guys don't talk about that kind of shit at work. Like, oh, this creator posts every other day. He's good. This guy posts once every month. He's no good. Or
not like once a month is not enough. Like
Not-
you
right.
definitely want to be. You'll do like a 3-month campaign, and so say that it's over 3 months. You'll have like at least a post a week or every other week. But like you also want to see what's performing, right? So you have to give things time to breathe. Post a piece of content, see what kind of engagement it actually gets, and then you can take the top performing piece of content and put paid dollars behind it. So like you posted 10 pieces of content over 3 weeks. One of them is outperforming them by 2 or 3x. That's the one you're going to choose to put paid dollars behind to target new audiences.
right. And so when we're talking about the paid dollars, you're talking about paying. You end up paying Facebook, but you pay Instagram to promote that ad.
Yeah.
So for a lot of small businesses, this number is unknown. So if you could maybe break down or give some advice to people willing, like what they coming out with a budget, because they say $100, you're just wasting your money, in a sense, right?
yeah.
So where's that kind of threshold? What should a small business owner or an artist or someone do to save up in order to run a proper 3-month campaign?
If you're going to need, if we're talking straight up dollars and you want to work with creators, you're going to need around like the bare minimum $2,500 to do it to do it successfully, to test and give
$2,000, $2,500.
yeah
Okay.
to give your content time to breathe and perform and you know really evaluate which pieces are performing best. You're gonna need around $2,500
For a 3-month campaign, or more of that. That's more of a 1-month budget.
I wouldn't 3 months is how much you're gonna need to give it time to breathe,
Right.
like, to give it time to perform. That's kind of like
So that's everyday dollars. Every day that $2,500 is getting spent throughout the 3 months every day.
yeah. So like a creator will charge you like $300 or $400 for a post for a photo,
Oh wow.
right? Like they have to eat. So,
Yeah, for sure. I get it.
Like so,
I get
$300 for a photo, right? And you're gonna need 5 photos, or maybe like 2 photos from a creator, and then you'll have 5 creators, so two photos from each. Videos are more expensive. Videos can range $500 to $600 to $1,000, and keep in mind, like this is different for every creator,
Of course.
because every creator has different
Of course.
following. And
We're
different,
talking more small scale, small business.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the answer.
and
Yeah.
you also gotta be. There's laws to this shit, right? Like you're not just gonna come in and take over the market, right? Like if you're entering an existing market, there's only so much you can grow in X amount of time. Like you're not just gonna steal everyone's market share, if you know what I mean. Like if you're making hand soap and you launch, and or skincare, and you know you launch and you're expecting to flood the market and gain this huge market share in X amount of time, it's not gonna happen. Like there's like a calculated ceiling as to how much you can really steal from this market in X amount of time.
There's an actual algorithm, right?
Yeah, there's an algorithm. Like customers are this loyal. Customers will spend this much. Customers will shift to another brand this much. So it's not like you're just gonna. You don't expect the moon and sun right away. It's a slow game.
Yeah, so it is about putting in those campaigns and over
Yeah,
time and
Exactly.
having a real clear plan on, okay, in 3 months, maybe let's try and get 100 or 1,000 new engagement pieces.
Yeah. Like the best brands, the ones that see the most success, are the ones that aren't expecting, like, oh, I want this one person to post something, and I'm expecting this many sales from it. Like when you're talking with a marketer, like an experienced marketer, an experienced marketer, a lot of the times they know you're not going to get those direct sales right away. And like the more, the quicker they, you're talking to someone, the quicker they understand that, like the quicker you can get a campaign off the ground successfully.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what are your goals with this? Are you trying to turn this into a business, or is this somewhere where you're growing at the company you're at?
Yeah, man, I'm just growing at the company I'm at. Like it's funny. Like I have this kind of talk with my boss and stuff all the time. Like I like to create content. I like doing stuff like this. Like I have a podcast coming up next week with the founders of a great Canadian brand.
And where is that going to be live?
Yeah.
So where can people check that?
That'll be on Spotify. The DTC Growth Show.
DTC Growth
Show. Yeah,
DTC
it's on
Growth.
Spotify, Apple Music.
Yep.
It's
I listened to the first episode you did.
Yeah,
that was a while back.
Yeah. It's one of the top D2C podcasts you can get out there. One of the, we have almost 10,000 downloads on the total downloads. It's great. It's a great time. So I love being a part of that. So creating content, talking with clients, talking with founders, that's kind of like my niche. Like I really enjoy that part. So something along those lines.
Yeah. So, and then are you going to look to do this like independently? Can you do it independently from your company, or is this something you have to like non-disclosures?
You'll see,
and all
man.
that
You'll see.
That's what's up.
You'll see. And of course, me and you, we always got something up our sleeves.
Yeah. I need some help with this too, man. Yeah, man. It was good talking to you. I think we'll wrap it up there for today, and I'll have you back soon, and maybe we'll get everybody to check out that DTC Growth podcast on Spotify. Wednesday is going to be live.
No, we're shooting it Wednesday, so we'll mix it down, master it.
Okay, so it's not live. It's not live.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm recording it next week.
Yeah.
And then the weeks to follow, you'll see that episode be uploaded on Spotify.
Okay, that's what's up. So we'll look out for that. And thank you for coming today, man.
Much love, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. We'll link up soon. All right.